What up, scholars? This is Speech Guy Tony Asar, ASAR. You know I got my main man, the super duper.
Okay. Go ahead. I ain't gonna stop you.
The professor, the super duper, uber producer, podcast poppy,
Self-titled.
Earl Frias.
And y'all have to know, right across from me is the historian. The one with the dreads. He'll smack you with some lead. I had to rhyme, so I had to put those together. What from Pomona? He'll make you feel like you drank 7 Coronas.
Ooh.
It's the one and only Tony Asar.
Oh, thank you, baby.
I'm gonna come up with something like that's legit to match the match that I gotta match it.
Hey, I'm feeling that though. This one you went for it.
I did.
That's why I was
did.
like, let me just shut the fuck up.
I did.
This
I
ride.
did. I did. Hell yeah.
Mr. P-Town himself.
Shout out to my boy PJ. Hey, Earl, how you been, my G?
Hey man, not too bad. You know what I'm saying? Had a good work week. Not too bad.
A good work week? What is that?
I mean, I survived. I didn't slap nobody. I guess it's a good work week when you don't cuss nobody out. You don't slap nobody.
Okay, fair.
You don't get hurt. I'm starting to get like some type of bunion on my right side of my foot.
Oh, what? No?
I don't want to say it's a bunion, but then when somebody looks at it, they're like, that's the onslaught of a bunion. And I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Where is it? On the big toe?
No, it's on the side of my foot.
No.
That's why it can't be a bunion, right?
A bunion come on the big toe because it's part of the bunion tissue within the toe.
Oh yeah, I forgot who
it's
I'm talking to. I forgot
overpronation
who I'm talking to right
of the
now.
foot. And you have to walk a certain way.
I forgot who I'm talking to right now. The expert analysis in bunion treatment.
I'll make your feet feel good, baby.
How was your week, man?
My week's good. You know, talking about it, getting fired, that's cool. I got the heads up, that's chill. You know, probably gonna go to unemployment tomorrow just to get ahead.
Just to get ahead of the game?
Yeah, the curve, just a little bit. I like to, it's chestnut checkers, you know what I mean? And it's weak, but it's just what it is, and fuck jobs. I was telepathically trying to stop customers from coming in today.
Sounds like a Tony Asar move.
You know, I was just standing there looking outside like, don't you come in, don't you come in. Some of them did it. A lot of them did it. I had a good, non-cheerful day.
In full disclosure, he needs customers. He needs customers.
It's a commission-based job.
It's a commission-based job. That's how much he hates that shit. Don't come in. I fuck with that.
You know, so that's what I've been up to.
Sounds like a good week. Not too bad.
It's not too bad, but I can't complain. Can't complain too much. I got a job for now, and going to keep trying to make this money and move on to other endeavors.
Just gotta count those blessings, man.
Or make it off this stand-up shit. I swear to God, y'all need to love me more.
Man, right? Y'all need to love y'all need to love Tony Asar more.
Please, just my jokes. I don't want to work no more.
I really don't want to work.
This shit sucks. But that ain't about that, man.
It's not about us, yo.
It's about who we got in the noise lab.
A new face for me. I've heard this name plenty of times from a lot of different people. Il Samar, I've heard the name from.
Yeah. Definitely, that was my first introduction.
Marcus Lee, I've heard him say the name before.
Definitely been around that cat as well.
Speaks Geek, I think he might have said the name before once or twice.
With a tracker maybe or something, but
this person is somebody I've been hearing about, but I'm glad he's in the Noise Lab.
Yeah, he's the founder of the IE for you.
Oh shit! Okay.
He coming smooth and dapper and always on time.
Always on time.
Ooh.
He pays for his gas.
Oh,
with all types of change. That was me the other day. Anyways, let's just.
But without further ado, go ahead and tell the people what your name is.
Yo, what's up? I am Donald Guy.
What up, IG? And welcome to the Noise Lab.
I don't get the introduction, from the North Fontana, rocking the yellow banana.
Ooh, go ahead.
Banana Fanta Monana.
Ooh, go ahead. Hannah Montana.
I shouldn't have went with banana. Okay, Hannah Montana.
Okay.
Donald Guy.
Hey, welcome to the Noise Lab,
man. Thank you guys for having me here. It is a pleasure to be sitting in this chair. I've seen a lot of dope artists sit in the same. I don't know if it's the same seat or if Y'all
No,
play
it's
musical
the
chairs.
same seat. It's the
Okay,
same seat.
the same
We working
seat.
on it,
Okay.
A lot of
Yeah,
different
yeah,
booty
yeah.
juice going on that seat over there.
But somehow coronavirus free. You're welcome.
Yeah, exactly.
For now. No.
For now. Keep the lights all on deck.
That's what's up.
So, man, how well, I know you got something. Oh, I don't know if you had like a question already,
You know I got
prepped
something in
up.
the chamber.
That's what I'm saying. You got something in the chamber. You know what I'm saying? I just wanted to ask how, since, because I judging off of doing a little history on you, you're a Kobe fan, you're a Laker fan.
Right.
I just wanted to ask you right off the bat, like, how are you coping with the loss of one of the greatest basketball players of all time?
Man,
the greatest.
It was, and everyone has the same story, when they found out, where they know where they were at when they found out. Just like when Michael Jackson died, we knew. When 9/11 happened, we knew, because it's a part of our culture, Basketball is something that I love, and Kobe Bryant was just a figure, that I loved. And what's crazy is that when it happened, I was at church. Had a great service. It was all good. I was like, let's go. And then right before we're getting ready to tear down, the sound guy next to me is like, hey, Kobe Bryant died. Like, not even like passed away, like Kobe Bryant's dead. I was like what?
He cut you deep right there.
And then I'm on my he's just blunt with it. And then I'm on my phone for 5 minutes thinking like, nah, it's like Eddie Murphy, right? Like when Eddie Murphy died, like he's still alive. And I'm like, this has to be a hoax or misinformation that was communicated, or somebody just playing. It was very hard to believe. And then all of the reports about different people who, everybody was.
Yeah, I heard Rick Fox at a point in time.
Yeah, Rick Fox, the entire family was in there.
Yeah.
Someone, said that I was in there. I was like, no, I wasn't. That's probably not something I should joke around with. But, but when I found out that Kobe, that it was true, it just really tore me to the core. And really helped me to realize that, honestly, life is precious. And even moments like this where we could laugh and fellowship and communicate and have community together, we have to cherish those moments because we don't know what day is our last. And so, what really destroyed me was finding out that his daughter was also in the helicopter.
That was
yeah. And so that was really, it really hit me to the core. Because I have a 3.5-year-old son, and he's the love of my life, and I couldn't just imagine. I saw the way that Kobe loved Gigi, and I was just authentic, real love.
Yeah.
And so, but at the same time, I heard stories about Kobe couldn't live without her, and the same thing. And so, we in the midst of the sorrow, in the midst of the sadness and the tragedy. We always have to look at a positive light, because at the end of the day, we may say, why? Why did this happen? Well, I've been hearing a lot, people get mad at God, but we also have to remember that, he is the potter, we're the clay. God is God and we are not. And so in that situation I have to turn my perspective, even in the sadness and mourning, but to look and say, what can I do now? How can I cherish this moment? How, this death has brought communities together, people together in a way. And so, and looking at the positive in this situation, although hard, but eventually we move on, but we really have to focus and hone in on the difference that he made and the blueprint that he set for us to work hard, that Mamba mentality. And also what he did as a father to love his daughter, and only that life being cut short, only 13 years, that was still precious. And so you got to take every moment.
That's a baby.
Yeah.
13 years old.
13 years old, and so you cannot take anything in life for granted. And so, but man, rest in peace.
I just had,
Kobe
I just had to
Bryant.
ask that question
Yeah.
real quick because
Yeah.
I saw how much of a fan you are of the Lakers, and I know you're a fan of Kobe.
Yeah,
You
big
know,
Kobe
so
fan.
I just had to get that out the way real quick.
No, I appreciate it.
and,
You start the interview off.
On some real shit.
I know. No, this is good.
It's
This is
Oscar
good.
night, nigga. I was ready to pass that shit. It was like, okay. And the envelope goes to
And
The man from Fontana, Hannah Montana.
Yeah. What's dope is staying on Kobe and it being Oscar night too, is the fact that this man won an Academy Award for Dear Basketball.
Yeah,
and
which was really good even before the award.
It was dope.
It's beautiful.
I don't think I saw. I still haven't seen that.
I seen it. They originally dropped it during a certain award season.
Mm-hmm.
Like I remember, and then I was like, damn, this shit. The whole journey of it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, yeah, my nigga. That's kind of how I feel too.
Yeah.
Better than Kevin Hart's doc on Netflix.
Oh shit. Have you seen all of it?
Yeah.
All right, no, that was the most realest shit. hold on, hold on. No, this still about you, baby. Don't trip. But I'm mad no one talks about how that was the most realest shit
I've
on
heard
Netflix right
people like try to say that this is Kevin Hart's cleanup. To try to. To me, it seemed like first of all that was in production way before the whole.
I don't think that doc was about that shit.
No,
the Oscar.
It was just a put them at the layers in the window. You get a little window into like how Kevin Hart operates and his little bit of his backstory and his relationship with his dad, his relationship with the Plastic Cup Boys. Like shit got real on that plane.
Yeah,
I thought it was gonna be a fight.
That plane episode. That's why I'm like, no one's talking about that. That was some real shit. If it was some wishy washy shit, he wouldn't have put that on there.
No.
He looked horrible.
Yeah, he looked bad.
And he knew to check himself. That's what I was like, damn, I fuck with this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Because,
especially talking
have
to
you seen the Kevin Hart documentary?
No, I gotta check it out now.
Real quick, there's just this one scene on the airplane where, first of all, there's so much shit going on with Kevin Hart at this point. This nigga just getting drunk. Like he got in trouble with, cheating on his girl.
And the Oscar when he got he got picked for the Oscars and they wanted him to apologize for the homophobic tweets
right from
the jokes
years ago.
And then the guy, and then it turns out the whole reason that video of Kevin Hart got out was because his boy, who was a Plastic Cup boy, released it, right? So he's doing all this shit. He's on this airplane getting drunk with his boys, and he goes at it with
his trainer.
Which
is not somebody you trying to go with.
Nah. The crazy part is, all the way up until this one point, you just see how much they got mad love for each other, like everybody in this camp.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, Kevin was like, if anything happened to me today, would you have a house? Like he started checking him on the plane in front of everybody.
Yeah.
He was like, "Do you have a house?" And his trainer was like, "Look, man, boss. Yeah, boss."
But that boss.
Yeah, there you go. Boss was like, "Man, I don't fuck." Like he was like, "Man, I don't fucking need you." He was like, "I was good before I met you. I'll be good after you." And then he was like, "You're not listening to me." He's like, "You wouldn't have a house. You wouldn't have anything." Like he just kind of. He was trying to boss up on boss. And then boss being boss rose up on Kevin, and it looked like it was some push shit going on. And then they had to separate him. And Kevin was like, "You out of pocket."
They got off the plane. They continued the argument off the plane. It was pretty intense.
It was pretty intense.
It's about to be no Kevin Hart, man. I want.
It's definitely worth seeing because it shows a lot of layers, and that's one of the realest shit on Netflix right now. Off the rip. But hey, so you're like really multi-talented, my G.
Oh, thank you, man.
Cause you just don't rhyme, you produce as well, right?
Produce, yeah. Play guitar, drums.
Okay.
Photographer.
That's okay.
Filmmaker.
Okay.
Storyteller. Everything. If I was thinking about this the other day. All the aspects what I do, whether it's writing poetry, whether it's writing my blogs, whether it's photography, whether it's filmmaking, short documentaries, how do you define all of that? And the only way to define it, is storyteller. Even though still images tell a story, and it's like, how do you tell your story? How do you tell someone else's story? Because everything around, when even talking about what we're seeing on Netflix or you know what the music we're listening, we want a story to be told. That's why books are great, because they're a form of storytelling, a beginning, a middle, and end. And so, and then sometimes leaving you with a cliffhanger to want to read more. So even with images that I capture, even with documentaries that I show, it's like, how do you tell that story and how do you leave people wanting more? Because retention is so important in everything, right? You do a show, you want them to come back to the next show, not to just say, oh, I went, I saw it one time, or oh, I listened to the album that one time. I want them to come back, and every time I drop something new, to say, hey, I want to continue to consume this. And those are true fanatics of us. And so if we tell that story right, they're gonna want to always come back to hear more. So yeah.
How did you get so involved in the arts like that? Like to be fully rounded, poetry, instruments?
Yeah, man. So I started off, I was playing sports a lot in high school. And then my mom told me about this performing arts high school in L.A. Because she knew I liked acting and movies and things like that. She's like, if you want to be an actor, you can audition for this school. And at the time, I was doing some short commercials. I had an agent at the time, so I was doing some commercials and voiceover. And I'm 15 at this time, and so she was like, hey, this is performing arts high school. I was like, man, do I give up basketball? Like I was. The real sport, I was actually running cross country and track, and so things were like happening, especially in cross country, because I was like the youngest on the team and one of the fastest, and so I was like, you know what, the idea of going to this school in LA was pretty dope, because a lot of people went there, like Anthony Anderson went to the school. Okay. Michael Jackson wanted to buy this school. Oh, shit. John B went there. Josh Groban. So many people, and I can't even name. It's a school called LACHSA, Los Angeles County High School for the Arts, and so that's how I got my start. I was living out in Moreno Valley, catching a train from San Bernardino every day. Oh,
they're the Union Station?
Yeah, all the way to, actually right before Union Station is Cal State LA. Yeah. So the high school was located on the college campus, which was super dope. Because if you're 15, 16, like, you got an ID that says Cal State LA, and then in small print it says Los Angeles County High School for the Arts. So I was going places, you know, my bad days. I was going places, you know, showing girls like, yeah, I go to Cal State LA. Yeah, right. I'm only 15, got a full-on beard. Right. 15 years old. Yeah. But,
y'all motherfuckers. Yeah. I've been growing my shit for 32 years. What you see, this is, right? You see this?
32 years later, it's going to all come in, man, at 60.
Bullshit.
Right when you're on your deathbed, it goes, boom.
Right? I'm going to be hot.
Can I take it to heaven with me?
Right? Drake talking about burying his money in his grave. I want to bury this nice beard in my grave. Right? Let me get this.
You know they're going to cut it when they put you in the... Yeah. No, I don't touch the beard. I just grew it. Yeah, but going to that high school, man, was... it taught me a lot of responsibility. It got me... It actually really just prepared me for college. Like, just being in that atmosphere. It helped me grow a lot quicker. Because high school... Man, high school was fun, but we know it was low-key a waste of time. But, I mean, it's great for the education.
And it flew by.
It flew by.
High school low-key was a waste of time. I ditched most of high school and got high, and I graduated.
See, I was like...
Thank you, California.
I was like...
No child
I didn't ditch until I turned 18. And I was like, oh, I'm grown now. I can ditch. Before that, I was deathly scared that somebody's going to call my dad and he going to come home and snap my neck in half.
Oh, no. See, you check in first period.
See, nobody put me on game as
and then after break, which is
science,
after second,
man.
you just...
Yeah.
We had this gate that had a hole in it. So at break, you just dip through the hole, you go smoke some weed over by the wash, and then you might pop back around fourth period.
And if your gate doesn't have a hole, that's what Saturday's for. You go and create that hole, so when you go back on Monday, you already got your escape plan. Why not? I'm sorry, kids, don't listen.
Don't you know?
It's not fun.
Taking what applies to you. That's all we got to say.
Saturday school's not that bad. It's exactly like the Breakfast Club.
It really is. It really is. You just sit there. You're not allowed to do anything. At least I wasn't. Supposedly. Except for like read. That's all you can do is read. But you can't put your head down. It was like
I was
Low-key,
still
like-
letting past the motherfucker. I had cold letter drops. You would've thought I was dead.
Can you imagine these kids with smartphones now in Saturday school and detention and being in school? First of all, I would never fail. If I had this
Right,
phone
right?
with me in
Yeah,
class,
yeah,
oh
on my watch.
shit, all these C's and D's I was getting
Hey Siri.
on tests. Man, it would have been. I was doing the most trying to cheat.
Right.
I ain't even gonna go into it. We trying to help the kids out. I ain't gonna try to show them way to cheat.
Man, one time I hoped the homie cheat, but his dumbass copied it exactly how I asked.
Oh, so he had one of those guys.
And I was like, why would you gotta get something wrong, like, G. You gotta get at least 3 different. Like, you did the same exact test, my nigga. Damn. Why? Yeah, we in trouble now.
That's funny.
So where'd you go to college?
So I went to I started off at Cal State Bakersfield on a theater scholarship.
Okay.
And royally failed. I was great my first my first term there because they were on the quarter system. So the first quarter I was great. I had a starring role. It was dope. And then from there I don't think I was just really ready for college as I should have been. During the time that I was going to Cal State Bakersfield, my parents had just divorced. And so me being away from home and knowing that I had, younger sisters and brothers that were in the midst of that, I was able to get away. But still in the back of my mind, I felt like I needed to be there. And so it was hard. So I ended up fell in a bunch of classes, went to RCC, took some classes that I needed.
RCC is
Riverside Community College.
Okay.
Yeah. Riverside Community. It's a commercial right now. Riverside Community College.
Riverside Community College.
Be a tiger today.
What you doing? You sitting there, wasting your time, sit on the couch, and you go, stop hitting the blunt.
You remember those commercials? They come on like at noon, 1 p.m.
Yeah.
You ain't doing shit with your life. What you doing over there? Nothing. Get your hand off your dick. Go to the computer and apply to DeVry. DeVry? Was it DeVry?
Do you like technology? Do you like to be $100,000 in debt? Come to DeVry today.
I like that.
I should go to DeVry. No, I ended up going to Riverside Community College, and then ended up going to. I met my wife, and we were at the time. We were going to. She was going to University of Phoenix for a master's degree. She already had her bachelor's. She did the 4-year thing, and then just got an MBA from University of Phoenix. And I'm like, let me check. And they were accredited, and I was like, let me just do it and go to school at night and finish my degree. And because I was, because of Cal State Bakersfield and then going to RCC, I was kind of a late bloomer. I didn't do the whole 4-year thing like most people do.
I was still a freshman in college.
So, okay. No, that's good.
15 years later.
15, man, that was my favorite year. Yeah, so I graduated with my bachelor's in business communications, and then went on to get my master's from Boise State University in educational technology.
Okay,
So,
you went to Boise State.
Boise State, the Smurf Surf.
Okay, what year?
Yeah,
What year?
this was 2011 through 2014.
Oh, so you missed the yeah, you didn't go when they went to the bowl game against Oklahoma.
No.
Okay,
So check
okay.
this out. So I get accepted, and I'm like, man, I remember watching the game.
Yeah,
but
that was one hell of a game.
It was, man. The trick plays, the coming back, Adrian Peterson on the other side of that. It was crazy.
Asking this girl to marry him, was that Ian Johnson?
Yeah,
Asking
Ian
this girl to marry him
Johnson.
after you
Yeah.
scored that
Still-
touchdown in overtime. That shit was hard.
He still
I do
lives in
remember
Boise,
that.
like selling
does?
insurance or something like that.
Yeah, he wasn't. Yeah,
he was-
that makes sense.
That's his
Game
key
over.
to selling insurance. Hey, remember when I proposed to my girl? in that game?
They still together. She's
We're
like,
still together. We insured. That's why. Need some insurance.
she's like, I should have got with Adrian Peterson.
I knew I should.
I knew, but y'all won. It was the moment. And so I went back and relived it. Like after, I'm like, nah, I'm about to relive this. So I'm there with my Boise State gear on, watching it like it's the first time. And so yeah, but that experience, it was cool, man. It was cool going to a university, and especially after coming from University of Phoenix, where there's no sports team. I'm a huge sports fan, and then kind of riding behind this underdog mentality, and it just fits. It fits our culture fits our community because, you know, so much within our community, we feel like we're the underdog. Like there's so many people, the higher class out there with, you know, people taking jobs that we know we're qualified. PJ, man.
This has again, Donald. This has nothing to do with you. But it's still about you, baby.
When the other people were here, was he doing this?
No.
Nah.
When Ilson was here, he was.
No.
You know why? Because he hates the Lakers. No, that's a lie. I'm just joking.
Are you serious?
He was ready to finish. No.
Man, I was literally about to get up on my seat if I heard that. You a Clipper fan?
No.
I am. But we can talk about that later.
Oh, I did forget on that.
Hold on to that. We'll talk about
that. Yeah. I'm like, I'm out of here.
I did a whole show with that Clipper, but
what were we talking about? Oh, Smurf Turf.
Yeah, Smurf Turf, and you know, reliving that experience, seeing the
yeah. But Boise was cool, man. It's a lot of white people up there.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Is it whiter than Portland?
I've never been to Portland.
All right. You gotta go to Portland, I gotta go to Boise. Cause I swear there's nothing whiter than Portland.
Yeah.
I want to see Boise now. I could be wrong.
Nah.
It could be not even a redhead in Boise.
You need to go to Lodi.
What?
Lodi, California?
Lodi? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty white too. But it's probably not as white as Portland. Because Portland, it's a different type of white in Portland. I can imagine.
Was what?
They're different up there, man.
It was what mine come from.
Well, by the way, I'm a quarter white, and so I just want to throw that out there.
Mama,
so I could be 25% funny on that.
Okay.
So without being
Mama,
racist.
dad's side.
Oh, my dad's side. My dad's only half black. Yeah.
Okay.
And so he's his dad was Irish and Blackfoot Indian, and so
sounds like some raping went on.
Yeah.
All black, baby.
It is what it is, baby.
Yeah.
Oh man.
No. So after college, when did you transition to saying, "Hey, I want to put my music out there like that"?
So I've been doing music since I was 16, and so I started off in high school. I met this dude that was a producer. His name was D. We're still best friends to this day. Shout out D Gip. But I literally, I mean, talking about a serendipitous moment. I literally, we're in world history class, and I was one of the captains, and I had to pick my team, and I literally picked him because he was black. And literally, low key. But it was the best experience because his family, for world history, we had to do this thing called country visits. And so I picked him, and his parents were from Belize. And so everybody picked, like, they're going to do France, and they're going to do, like, Mexico. I'm like, that's easy, you know, because, you know, California. There's a lot of, but Belize, I was like, I ain't never heard of Belize. Like, okay, where is this at? So it was pretty dope. We really schooling all of the people up on game about where Belize is and how it used to be British Honduras and all of the history behind it. And I heard it's beautiful. I haven't been there yet, but it's a nice vacation spot. Beautiful beaches and things like that. So
the women are definitely gorgeous.
Yeah, you know what's crazy is this whole Belize thing just started this whole high school trend because I ended up going to prom. I was in 10th grade. I ended up going to prom with this Belizean girl. And then I asked this other girl, you know, I just thought she was cute. I know she was Belizean to prom too. And like I went to prom with 2 Belizean girls. My best friend was Belizean, and I had never even knew where.
Hold on, you went to prom with 2 different women?
Oh, not at the same time.
Junior.
So check this out.
I was finna say,
hey, don't say that.
him.
To be wrong with.
And nothing wrong. I'm about to give him the ultimate pimp card. Like, here you go, bro. I've been waiting to hand this out to somebody.
I should have did that. 2 different limos.
Come on.
Yeah.
Nah, same limo. Same
limo, right?
Same limo.
Yeah.
Just one's driving and the other one.
Tell her, like, hey, hop in the front.
Hop in the front. Bro. Drive that. We'll y'all swap.
Back there? Nothing. No, I went to so when I went to this performing arts high school, you still had a homeschool because I had being from Reno Valley, so Rancho Verde was my homeschool. So I was like, you know what, there's this girl that I like, and I'm gonna ask her to prom, and she was beautiful. I did find her on Instagram. I shouldn't say this just in case this gets out there, but you know, high school is a long ways away. People have really changed.
Oh, of course, of course. I'll take that as I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And so, but yeah, so I ended up meeting this dude D, and then he was producing. And we just really just hit it off. We realized that, man, we both love hip hop back then. You know, I was a Jay-Z fan. He liked DMX. And so we was just, you know, just really just, it was just a fit. And so from there, you know, we started this group called Highest Rank. And we were doing, you know, Christian rap at these different churches and things like that and getting ourselves out there. And then we almost got signed. Back then, you had to get signed. Today, you don't have to get signed. With social media, with networking, with marketing, right? You could create your own empire and capital through this music. But back then, there was this record label called Parliament Records.
I've definitely heard of them. I feel like I've heard of them.
Yeah. Nah. You probably did. And so, man, they gave us this like 30-page contract.
Oh, shit.
And so we got into an entertainment lawyer, and the entertainment lawyer was like, "Nah, you signed this, you're pretty much done." And so, but looking back though, you know, us being 19 at the time when we almost signed this deal, I almost wish we did. Because what would have hurt? Maybe we wouldn't have made any money, but we would have had the opportunity to travel and actually get some industry experience. And so, you know, I look back, hindsight is 20/20. But there was nothing to lose and more to gain just through relationships. And so, but you know, everything happens for a reason and a purpose. And I could go back and say, man, I should have went that route, but you never know what it would have led to. And the route that I went, you know, with my music and where I'm going is exactly where I need to be. And so yeah.
All right. Amazing that worked out.
Yeah. Could have got signed. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, right.
You might have dodged a super bullet.
Yeah, that part.
You might have.
That's true.
I mean, you got connections, but you know, sometimes not all roads are worth traveling on.
No, they would have owned me, man.
Like,
you could be Mace right now, screaming to the high heavens, like, I need my publishing.
I know.
Say, yeah, because, like, just say if you did go down that road and you did have that big hit and you had that bad contract.
Done. Game over.
That's probably what that lawyer was saying. Like, nigga, it ain't worth it.
It ain't worth it.
We need this money on the table.
My percentage ain't high enough. That's probably what he was saying.
There's no way I could rob you with this deal. I need you to go get some more money.
Exactly.
That's funny. Man, I look at even artists today, man, like no, I don't want to speak for every artist, but a lot of artists that I speak to, they don't have their own publishing. Like they're not utilizing some of the resources that are out there. You know, they're putting out tracks, they're putting out songs, and you know, getting the streams through DistroKid. But it's like, man, like you are leaving money on the table if you're not publishing. Yeah, you start your own publishing company. It's $50 through ASCAP. Start your own publishing company. It's $50 through ASCAP. And you know,
go back.
Whoa, yeah,
Hold up.
Say it.
We're going to have to go back, rewind, and catch that gem right there.
$50 to start your own publishing company. Did not know that.
Yeah.
That
is major key right there.
That is so key. And so the publishing is really for producers, right? And then myself as a writer. And so many, even the producers, like when I purchase the beat, I'm like, hey, do you have your own, what's your publishing company? They're like, what? What's that? I'm like, don't worry about it.
Novice.
You're good. You're good. 100% on the publishing and the writer. But you know, we try to tell these young producers, or even older producers, is like, man, get your own publishing company. So you have the publishing rights to your music, and myself as a writer, you know, it's 50-50, and then you get your share. If this thing blows up and we're in it together, you know, a lot of them, they're thinking, man, let me just sell Lisa's beat for $30, you know, or $150 for the exclusive. But it's like, nah, I'll be asking for points. Like, what happens if this thing blows up? Yeah. So, you know, those
talks are crucial,
right? Facts. So we like to operate in these silos as producers and artists, but we're so much stronger through collaboration. You know, we're so much stronger working together, partnering up to say, hey, you know, it's like what we were talking about. You know, you want consumers to continue to come back. And so if you're a producer, you want that artist to keep coming back to say, hey, you know, I want to purchase your beat. Cool. Here's a little contract. You know, I'll get 50% if you make X amount. Or, you know, get your own distro kit and say, hey, distribute. You know, I'm the producer. I should be getting 50% of it. But, you know, you have to work smarter, not harder in this.
Especially now.
Yeah. Especially now. Yeah.
Working hard ain't gonna get you shit. Broken dreams.
You gotta have
broken back.
Exactly. You got it's nothing out there. It's nothing wrong with going out there and grinding, but you have to have a strategic plan before you do anything. And that's what's key. Like my team, you know, when I'm working with D, he lives out in Las Vegas, but 4 times a year, we just have strategic planning meetings where I go to Vegas, which is great. And then he comes down to Cali. That's a win-win. And so, but we have these strategic planning meetings to figure out, okay, what's the next step? Let's look at the analytics. Let's look at social media. Is this even worth it? You know, what is the point of this? And so really trying to figure out what's behind it. And so that's how we could be able to, it's going to be worth our time. And so at the end of the day, at the end of, you know, 5 years, when I retire, I can say, hey, I did everything possible that I needed to do to maximize, you know, the rewards from this music. Whether, and it really depends on what your objective is, what's your goal. Is it to get rich? You know, my goal is a lot different with my music. You know, my goal is to really just build community and to create music that people love and would have a positive impact in their lives. And then I want to curate that to something that's bigger. The music will kind of get me there and get me into places to meet people. But then what's after that? You know, I can't be 50 and rapping.
That part.
Some of us
just
can.
the art.
Right.
You know, like being passionate about art and creating is great and it is key. But you have to have something to follow up with that. Right?
Yes.
Because it's at the end of the day, passion is great, but it's business.
Yeah.
And every business got a second product to follow up. That's why the Big Mac got a quarter pounder.
Right.
You got the double. But you get the single or you get animal style. Like you always got to have some type of additive to what you're going with. Even once you reach your goal.
Yeah, you have to always be working and always be creating. You know, if you're an artist, you have to create. Consistency is key. And that's why with my music, you know, I drop a new single once every month or an album or EP or something or collab with someone. Because that consistency, you know, you don't fall behind and get to a place where people are going to forget about you. No one even knows me right now, you know? And so, you know, compared to other artists, but how do I keep in front of them? You know, how do I keep it, whether it's creating music, creating blogs, creating short documentary pieces, collabing with others, getting my name behind it. It's all about that community and consistent work. And so always be working on your craft, always be working on something that's going to get you to that goal. And whether it's just little steps that you're taking, just don't stop. There's no time for hiatus. I'll take a hiatus when I'm 50 and done with this thing. But if you're doing what you love, then what you're doing is not going to feel like work, period. So, you know, I encourage everyone to just keep going. Keep going. Don't allow anything to stop you from reaching those goals and working on your craft to get you to where you need to be.
Every action has a result. But talking about hiatus, I think it's time for one of those games.
Oh, that was my bootleg ass drum roll. All right, so first game about to get into.
This is fun.
Is behind the post. So basically, every guest that comes into the Noise Lab onto the podcast, I scour their social media and ask for context behind certain things that they post.
Like Twitter, Instagram, everything.
Instagram,
Facebook,
Tinder,
the whole enchilada.
Black Planet, you know, TikTok. If you're on TikTok, I'll catch you dancing. I'm going to bring it up.
I saw what you posted 24 hours ago on Snapchat.
So the first for Behind the Post for Donald Guy. He posted this September 25th, 2019 on Twitter. Feels like I'm just wandering through life, not really living it. That's all it says. My question for you, though, is not necessarily what made you post that, but what is really living life?
Right.
As
right.
comparison to just that feeling of wandering. I think we all feel that way sometimes.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, especially when I'm at work and I'm like, cause I work at the Walmart like facility, right? Big old warehouse, and it's just like I feel like a small cog.
Right.
In a big operation. I'm just like, I can be replaced tomorrow.
Yeah.
What am I doing? I feel like I'm just wandering, but at the same time, when I'm here, I feel like I'm fucking everything is everything. When I'm here, I'm doing the podcast, but I do have those feelings too of just feeling like I'm wandering through life, waiting for the end. Yeah, which is inevitable.
Right. Man, that was that. That time was, I don't want to say a dark time, but definitely, because I rarely post things like that unless it's really something that's really weighing on my heart. And sometimes in this life, man, we kind of feel like we're living someone else's dream. You know, a lot of people, and I was listening to this podcast, and it says that, when you die, the regrets that you have, it's not what you didn't. It's not, you don't have regrets for the things that you did in life. It's for the things that you did not accomplish in life. And sometimes we kind of go through this life and we kind of just go through the motions. Everything becomes a routine. You wake up, I go to work, I get home, I go to sleep, I wake up, I go to work, that should be a song.
That's a new single, right?
But in life, you kind of go through that and you miss things. Like some people say, well, what did you do this weekend? And you're like, what did I do this weekend? Like you kind of just wander through the weekend. Like you don't you have to be constantly present in what you're doing every day and figure out, hey, is what I'm doing really worth it? Am I happy? Does this bring me joy? Or am I doing it just to do it? Am I doing it because this feels safe? Am I doing this because I don't want to take the risk? So to do what I need to do. So, with everything, you have to figure out, what is it that you really want to do in life? What is it that you love to do? Yeah. And you have to take that risk. You have to bet on yourself to be able to do it. And so if you're timid and you're afraid or you don't believe, then that is a place that you don't want to be. Because the only person that you could truly trust is yourself, because that you're going to do what you said you're going to do. And if you can't trust yourself to do it, then you have to really do a self-examination to say why. And so at the time, I was really just going through, life wondering through life, not really being present in the moment and understanding like, okay, I'm here, this is now. What am I doing? How am I focusing on today to help me to get to my tomorrow? And it goes back to setting those goals. What am I doing with this music? What am I doing with this filmmaking? Am I just kind of going through the motions and not progressing? And so we go through that in life. And so when I wrote that, and sometimes I have to check myself to make sure that I don't get back to that point where I feel like I'm just going through the motions of life and not really truly living it, not really living out my purpose that God has for me in this life. And so that's what's so important to me. And so, yeah, that's it. Anybody comment on that? Anybody check in on me?
Somebody actually did comment. Kingdom Come.
Okay.
Said, I get that at time. So this person didn't really spell shit right. I get that at time, man.
He was wondering.
Try ya keep your head up. There will be brighter days.
That's what's up. Did I respond to him? Or did I just say?
No, you said fuck that. I'm going through it right now. I'm wondering.
All right. I should go through my phone and see, like, what did I do that day? Like, that had me, like, post. What was I doing on the 25th of September? It was 6 days after my birthday. Oh. And so.
That's probably something
that's
to
probably,
do with
yeah.
You're
probably.
Older and you've reflected.
Yeah. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah. Unlocking the key.
I be trying to reflect on my birthday, but I'll be so wasted.
Maybe that's what
I'll be like, let's try again next year.
That's funny.
All right, second for behind the post. You posted this January 28th, 2020. A couple weeks ago. Oh. I want my empathy, compassion, and kindness to go further than my conviction.
Wow.
Just give me a little context behind that quote.
Man.
And more for our audience too, because I think that's powerful.
Yeah, no.
I read that and was like, those are some big ass words.
Yeah.
I need him to break this down for me.
That's funny. Here's the key thing, and really behind that. And I'm honest. I'm truly honest. Myself in this walk as a Christian, the key thing for me is to, the greatest commandment. The Bible says to love God and love others. And so loving others doesn't have a limit based off of who they are, what they believe, how you feel about them. That's not love. Where I can sit and regardless of what I believe, I can sit in a room with people who are totally different from me and still love them and have community with them. And so that empathy for others, and especially people who are less fortunate, especially when it comes to, I had someone call me on Facebook. Call me on my phone because he got my number off of Instagram and asked me for money. And so I was like, wait, first of all,
you got your number.
Like, yeah, because
okay.
You put your contacts in there.
Yeah.
You could have got it off my website. Don't go to my website. I'm gonna have to change my number now. But he was like, yeah, somebody told me to call you, because I'm going through hard times. And so immediately I could have been like, how'd you get my number? Like, bro, don't be just calling me on a Friday. Like, he called me Friday morning. But you know what? My compassion for others has to go far beyond that. To be able to empathize with them and to hear them out. And so I heard them out, and at the time, I didn't have anything extra to give. But that didn't mean that I couldn't, pray with them. That didn't mean that I couldn't reach out to others to say, hey, this guy, he was from Texas. He was 30 minutes away from Houston. And he was telling his story about how his mom is disabled. Him and his wife didn't have any money for food. They had a kid. I went on Instagram and make sure all that stuff was true.
Yeah, of
course. It was. And at the time, I'm like, man, bro, I'm kind of, like, hold on, I get paid a little bit later. And so I still needed to find a way, to reach out, to still be able to help him out. Even regardless of if I thought it was a scam or not, to be able to just listen and try to understand people that are different or going through a situation, you got to have that empathy for them. And it's hard, in a way because of our time is so precious that, and valuable. But we also have to realize at the time of others, if I was in their shoes, how would I feel? I've been in their shoes. And so how do you empathize with them? How do you get to their level? How do you come from here down to here to help to understand where they're coming from or to understand their feelings? And that's what we have to do, in all of our walks. It takes listening. One thing that I didn't tell you guys, I teach interpersonal communication. And so a lot of people think that communication is all about, talking, but communicating is 80% listening to someone else. And so it's so important to be good listeners. Because if you have to, a lot of times when we talk, right? You're talking, you're having a natural conversation with someone. We really listen to reply, right? Sometimes we even cut them off, right? And then you're like, oh, let me get this answer. And you're already thinking of what you're going to say, and they're not even done saying what, their thoughts. But what we have to do is...
watching. Sorry,
yeah, I hope you're watching.
I'm just saying.
And if y'all need counseling...
I've been trying to say no counseling. Just, sometimes listen, girl.
You gotta. She needs to listen. No, but
come on, Betty. You just need to.
Come on, Betty.
Betty.
You have to listen, and we have to listen to understand. That's what's key in conversations. We have to listen to try to gain understanding, and that's what it's really all about. That's what friendship and relationships are all about. When I'm listening to my friends. It can't be to, it's the social time, but sometimes there's things that you could be missing. Sometimes they could feel like they're wondering if you just kind of don't really read into it or really listen to ask questions to then understand what they're going through. You could be missing something that's super important. And they could be going through something that's far more detrimental. But you just kind of just think it's just, hey, they're just they're just having a bad day.
Yeah.
But you don't know when that bad day could be their last day, or where they could get to that point of where they're at the edge. And so it's so important to listen to others. I think about, and I know we're not going into it until a little bit later, but I even think about the album that I wrote. A lot of it was about depression and anxiety. And a lot of that album stemmed from, there was these kids in Rancho Cucamonga Unified School District. There were 4 kids in the first week of school that committed suicide. And so it just got me thinking, who was not listening to them? Who was listening to reply or listening to maybe end the conversation versus listening to understand how they felt. And so we have to have that empathy and compassion for others, because you never know what they're going through. So, yeah, that was...
I feel that.
That's deep.
Deep as hell.
All right, thanks for always listening.
No problem, man. These ears is ready.
Huh? No, I'm just
All right, last for Behind the Post with Don
right.
Guy. You posted this. Let's see. When did you post this? 2015? Yeah, it was just
On
in
MySpace?
2015. No, on Twitter.
No, I'm just
on
kidding.
Twitter, right? Working on my track listing. #submerged. March 31st. Via #camera360. And then you had the track list.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. A couple songs, Legendary, Make a Man, Mask Off, I Need Your Help, and so many more. My question for you, and this could be a good segue into talking about your album that you were talking about.
Stigmatism.
Stigmatism. Your growth from this project to your current project. How do you feel like you grew the most?
Okay. First of all, that project Submerged is still underwater. It never made the light of day. But some of those tracks made it to an album called Legendary, which I believe that's the first track. So I ended up retitling it. And let me see, who did I feature? Let me see.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Carl Fontaine never did that song with me on this one. That's
Damn,
funny.
Damn, Carl. Fixing
Bro,
your credit. You working.
you
Don't
nev-
focus on his credit. You need to focus on the
focusing on the
music.
credit.
Hey, shout out to Terrence Spence who got on the track, and Carl Fontaine. This was like my wish list right here. The rest of the people did. Okay. Okay. That's dope. Wow. That. First of all, here's the transition. Don't post anything on social media unless you're actually gonna put out that album. Don't put features on people that haven't even recorded their verse yet. But the growth between that album and this it's a lot. A lot has happened since 2015 to even now 2020, and the way that I do music has grown. And so I used to create music for a certain type of genre, or a certain type of people who want to listen to it, versus thinking, how can I make music that everyone could relate to? And so a lot of that is taking growth and me like listening to different sounds and being more versatile in the way that I create music, and not being afraid to collaborate with others, and I'm not saying just other people who are rapping, but who's not rapping, that's doing some pretty dope stuff, like is
Tony
there a
got
folk
bars.
singer, what I'm saying, or a comedian,
good day.
and so it's like, how do I collaborate with people to get out to get outside of just the box of just even hip hop, I even thought about, man, what's a dope rock group that's out there touring, and then it's like, hey, let's collaborate with our fans. I love this band. There's this band called Gungor. And they're like a folk band, and then there's this hip hop artist named Propaganda who was opening for them, and I did some photography at one of the events, and you could just tell like the audience was primarily Gungor fans, and you got a few like Propaganda fans that were in there. Shout out to Prop's dope, but now he's just exposed himself to all those white people. No, but he's expanded because now this fan base probably would have never went to go see who propaganda or maybe never listened to his music. Now he had a chance to put that on display to bridge the gap in differences and maybe even change their thought frame on hip hop. Maybe they walked in there like, man, hip hop, like, oh, he's gonna be cursing. I don't want to know. But it just allows for us to be able to collaborate in a way where we can open up ourselves to a bigger audience. And that's what's key. If you want to do music and you want to do music that's sustainable, reach outside the box. Don't just stay boxed into a certain genre or type of music. Take risk to do something more. And so that's helped my growth to expand and say, I want it to sound different. I give, I like even, one artist that comes to mind is someone like Jaden Smith,
Okay.
And he came out with this song called
Icon Living.
No, Icon was dope.
That's one of his songs I know.
Yeah.
Just gonna be honest. He's dope though. Like I've heard other songs, but the one I can think of top.
I think it's called Fire Depot. And it's like this rock song that he did.
Okay.
And I'm like, this is dope. Other people outside of just the genre of hip hop could get, could listen to this. I don't listen to it. It's too rocky for me. It's cool, but it's like I can't. I want to listen to, Icons or something that's kind of lo-fi vibes. You know what I mean? And so, but he's thinking outside the box. He's expanding that audience, and so that's the way to do it. Is to not just stay, not to just stay in a frame, but to look at the full perspective, and then you'll get the bigger picture. So.
All right. Well, thank you for participating in
2015.
Behind the Post. Right. A little nostalgia. I bring a little nostalgia to the podcast.
Remember what it is, when it was, how it is,
what it ain't. All that.
and here we are to where it be. So Astigmatism, you just recently dropped out.
Yeah, Stigmatism. Yes.
Astigmatism. Fuck.
That's
The A silent.
It's not astigmatism.
No, it's astigmatism.
It's astigmatism, right?
Yeah, but we think they're saying like I have a
Yeah.
stigmatism. But it's I have astigmatism. Yeah.
So
like
the
I have.
A's not silent.
It's not like like this.
I was quick to agree.
It's not like I have a rabies. It's I have rabies.
Okay. I fucks with that.
But can I be honest though?
Yes.
I do have astigmatism, but I remember when I was like, you know what? I've never seen it spelled before, so I did the same thing. I typed in astigmatism, and then that's when I found out, it's astigmatism. This whole time I had it wrong, so I'm not afraid to admit when I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Bro, is the camera still rolling?
Oh, we still live on the pod, though.
He's like
giving the battery a little charge. It's all right.
Two-way,
All good.
three-way.
Yeah.
This is gonna be on the blooper reel.
Right, this is Pomona. This is we gotta do things.
Yeah.
We gotta juggle.
No. But yeah, astigmatism.
So you're playing on both that no one saw those kids as well as your current condition? Is that how you named it?
Wait, say it one more time.
Oh, the play on the name because you said originally there was 4 kids that died. No one was seeing them. No one was listening.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, were you making a play to like a condition that you actually do have, as well as no one actually seeing the kids and the blurred lines of that?
Wow, that's even deeper than I thought.
Speech God.
That was good. Yeah.
So right, it's deep.
Speech God, baby.
Speech God.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was doing. No. Honestly, what the song that I wrote was called Pressure, which is on the album, but I released it as a single. Oh, thank you, brother.
Yeah.
Back in June of last year. And it was really because I was feeling pressure myself, and that song was real to me because, I dealt with anxiety and with fears, maybe not to the point where I feel like I, could commit suicide, but everything has a slow fade, where you're at, you have to realize, because you may think that, I'll never get to this point, but, it's kind of the story of, if you put a frog in boiling water, it's going to jump right out. But if you put a frog in cold water, and then in a pot of cold water, and then you turn the fire up, and it will gradually heat. He won't know the difference. The frog won't know the difference, and will basically stay there until it burns to death. And so in life, sometimes we go through this slow fade where we don't even realize that it's an issue, and until we're too far gone. And so, with pressure, it's being aware of the present and understanding these are my feelings and owning those feelings. And that's when we talk about suicide and depression, and a lot of people, they hear about it, but we need to figure out how can we help others. And sometimes that's through conversation. I had a conversation with a dear friend of mine. She had a son who she adopted. It was 11, and the 11-year-old came to his mom and said, "Hey, I'm having these suicidal thoughts." And first of all, that's so bold for an 11-year-old to say, "Hey, I'm having these," versus hiding them. And the mom is incredibly smart and said, "Okay, well, tell me, if you were to commit suicide, how would you do it?" And he's like, "I would probably cut myself." And then she said, "Well, would it help you if when we're gone and you're home alone, that I lock the knives up and put them away?" And so sometimes we start to overreact versus reacting to the situation to figure out, okay, how do I combat this? Okay, well, let's talk about it. Like is this something real? Let's formulate it. Let's get the idea of suicide out there so you can go through the steps, and I can better, goes back to listening to understand, so I can better understand how you feel versus overreacting and saying, "Oh, you're going to commit." Why is this? As a parent, you get upset, and I can't believe my kid is thinking these thoughts, and it's like, well, no, have a conversation, because you don't want to get them to that point where you're just adding to the anxiety that they're feeling or adding to the angst that they have.
Especially black parents, because they ready to beat that out of them.
Right.
Oh, is that right?
Is that right? Let me pop this belt real quick. Bend over.
You think about ending your life? I'm going to end your life right now. Give you something in your life.
I'm the one who brought you in this world. I'll take you out. Man.
But it's like when parents are like, "I'm going to give you something to cry about. You want to cry?" Like, that don't make it better, but I'm guilty of that. I told my son that. I'll give you something to really cry about.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
This might be, you don't have to answer this. I wonder, doing this podcast with you, meeting you, where does anxiety show up in your life? To me, it feels like you're very comfortable talking in front of people.
You got good vibes.
Yeah, you're live on the mic. Camera was rolling. There's no real. I seen people sit here with some anxiety.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't see it present here, but I'm sure other places it is. I don't know if you're driving on the freeway could be your thing. Being on a plane full of people could be your thing. Being on a plane full of people.
That's a great question. And, you kind of think about, like, Robin Williams. Like, you never saw it coming. Because sometimes they're good at masking that feeling. And I'm not masking it because I'm very transparent, even in my music, when I'm feeling a certain way. If you want to know how I feel, listen to, any of my songs, because that's how I write them. I write them based off of feeling. So even after I wrote Pressure, someone had asked me, like, "Hey, are you really feeling anxiety? And, you're thinking about killing yourself?" And I'm like, "Nah, bro, I just wrote it for the people, But there's always truth and validity behind, as an artist, well, at least for me, what I write. And so, and now I'm able to talk about it, and hopefully other people hear it. But my anxiety comes a lot through insecurities, not feeling, because like you said, man, you do a lot of things. You're a jack of all trade. Sometimes I have insecurities about how well I do those things. And sometimes that bring about anxiety. I work with some really talented people, artists and other filmmakers. Myself at the university that I work for, I work with the very talented Amalia Sepulveda, who does all of Ilsa Mars.
She's gonna get a fucking Oscar. I be telling her, I'm like, girl, you kind of fucking good. She's gonna get an Oscar.
She's incredibly dope. And incredibly great to have on our team building, and an incredible friend. But you put yourselves around people that are better, and you're supposed to do this. But then when insecurity comes, when you're trying to display your art, you feel like, hey, I'm not living up to that expectation or worthy of that, can set you back. And so it's like, how do you change that mindset? And so I had to overcome anxiety and things that I created to think like, oh man, they're not gonna like this. They're not gonna approve of this, or this song. They're not gonna vibe with this song. But at the end of the day, you have to put it out there. You have to try. You have to overcome that angst, that anxiety, that fear, and find a way. Because most of the things that we fear are doubt. 90% or really 99% of those things never come to pass. You think about all your fears. People that are afraid of flying, they think, oh, what's the worst? People that are afraid of driving on the freeway, or they have these thoughts of negativity that something is going to happen that never happens. And then you look back to say, well, why did I worry? And I love, in the Bible, in Matthew 6:33, it says to seek ye first the kingdom and its righteousness, and all those things will be added unto you. Don't worry about tomorrow, because tomorrow will worry about itself. So if I focus on family, if I focus on God and just trust that he's going to take care of every situation, I don't have to worry or feel those same anxieties. And then you go to the root of it. What was I really worrying for? I'm here. I'm alive. Like things that I worried about before, like how am I going to pay that bill? Like what's going to happen in this situation? Oh, my car got repoed. Sometimes things feel like the end of the world. Yeah. I realized that the same emotions that I felt when Kobe Bryant passed away are very similar to the emotions that I felt, and this is sad, when I crashed my drone into the Pacific Ocean. Like I literally felt like my life was over.
Ooh, I just felt that
because that money spent,
right? And we got a drone too, and I can just imagine that. Woo!
Oh my goodness, my life stopped. My life stopped that day, and I'm like, 16. My wife was there. She was like, "How much? That was only like $400, right?" I'm like, "No, that was $1,600." And I forgot I didn't tell you. and I worried, and it tore me apart, and it actually paralyzed me for a moment. I didn't want to fly anymore. I didn't want to create anymore. And then literally, I swear to you, it was 3 months later, I decided, well, let me call DJI, see if I had a warranty on there. Immediately, within a week, I had a new drone. I could have had that 3 months ago. And so things that I worried about, things that I felt anxious about, things that paralyzed me to move forward because I doubted that there's no warranty. I got it from I got it off of Amazon from a third party. Didn't know that third party was actually a preferred vendor for DJI, and everything fell under the 1-year warranty. And they sent me a drone out right away. And so I'm like, why? Why did I worry? Why did I go through that? And so,
pause yourself for no reason.
Exactly. And there's so many of those stories in life. I've probably done it, 10 to 20 times today. Worrying about things that I shouldn't worry about. And we have to learn how to reverse that to really fully live life, or you'll go through life wandering through life and not really living your purpose.
And I fully embrace that at work. Trust, believe. I ain't got to worry about that. I'm not going to worry about it.
I'll say, man, fuck my job. I don't give a shit. I am living my purpose. That's why I feel good.
Yeah, 100%.
Because whenever people talk to me crazy, I just say, you just talking to me like that because you don't know who I know I am.
Thanks.
Can I get some of that?
Oh, yeah. Fist bump love out here.
That's the only reason you're talking like that. Okay, all right.
Has the reception been everything you thought it would be from your album that you dropped?
It's been like 3 years since Limitless, right?
Yeah. Actually, I dropped Limitless at the end of 2017.
Did it come with a pill?
I'm
buying it right now.
I know. Hashtag Bradley Cooper. That's what I should have ran with.
Right?
It's the people who listened thought that they were watching the movie or the TV series. I'm like, Limitless. I dropped it at the end of 2017. I dropped nothing in 2018. And what I realized I was doing was we had a small independent label called the Light Music Group. and we were focusing on other artists, which is fine. And I was kind of helping other artists progress. And then when 2019 hit, I'm like, you know what? I'm not getting any younger. I need to start doing some more music. And what was really dope about that is, you know, it allowed for me to just kind of get consistent with making music. That was so important. I was like, I'm gonna drop a new single on the 1st of every month. I ended up dropping like 7 singles last year, so I didn't really fulfill the whole thing. But it's more than I would have dropped by not trying at all. And so just by setting the goal, even if you come up short, you still did more than what you probably would have done without setting that goal. And so, so far this year I'm 2 for 2. With a new single that just dropped on the 13th of February, and with Astigmatism that dropped on the 10th of January. But there's still more promotions to be done. I get so busy, you know, with everything that I'm doing, with work, with being a dad, with other projects that I'm working on. Sometimes, sometimes I feel like I don't promote it enough or haven't done enough. And so I even thank you guys for the opportunity to just, you know, to be on this podcast, to come along and promote it. This is what I need to do more.
I always wanted you on. It's just, I learned in this little art life, you can't force like collaborations and shit. Even though
they happen when they were supposed to happen.
Yeah,
right.
For the most part. Yeah, or does it always fall through or some bullshit? And
that wasn't supposed to happen.
Yeah. So but I'm just glad everything aligned up. And
And I met this guy during Ilsamar drop of her foreign release back on September 28th, 2018.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, who's this Tony guy up in here? This man's funny. I like this. I like this. And then he gave me a shout out. And then I was like, oh, he didn't even name some of the other artists. He was like, Donald Guy, Carl Fontaine. I was like, thank you, bro. He doesn't even know me. And so, but you knew from that moment that was real love. And
no,
then,
it was.
Yeah. And then I had a chance to meet him. And he had on a Clipper jersey. And I was like, okay, they trolling me. What is this? This is why they brought me here?
He's with the shit.
And so then I realized all the stuff that I was talking, I really had to live it about being, you know, empathetic for people, you know, and what they've gone through with no championships. And, you know, and I got my 17 over here, you know, all of our banners, and they had their selfies up. They had their selfies up.
Dig it. Just keep digging.
Oh, sorry.
Just keep digging. I like it. Just keep digging.
Shout out to Kawhi. That's okay. Yeah, because we should have had Kawhi and Chris Paul. So,
yeah, but
Lakers believe they should have had everybody.
Yeah.
And then when y'all, we should have Dwight. Then when y'all got him, what happened?
Well, we got him again. We about to.
He's still disappointed.
I know.
He's
He playing hard.
Yeah.
He in the dunk contest. He got to win this
his last
thing.
hurrah.
This is it. Yeah. This ain't gonna
see if he touched the top of the backboard like he did before. I don't know.
Superman got a little bit of kryptonite.
Yeah, this not gonna be the same dunk contest when him and Nate Robinson win it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a little different.
I think a lot of this. It's gonna be a lot of hand pumping. Yeah, let's go, guys.
A lot of theatrics before the dunk. I'm gonna cook something, eat it, and do a regular reverse.
Wasn't JaVale McGee in the dunk contest too a while back?
Yeah, it was horrible.
He was?
Yeah,
he
did
blew the
Super Bowl.
cupcake or something. Yeah.
He blew the cupcake. Well, that is.
Or the candle.
Oh, I do remember that. Okay.
Yeah,
how far they've come.
That was
right. Like very unremarkable.
And then he dunked the 2 balls at the same time.
He did.
Yeah.
But it's like tennis balls in his hand. It don't count. It don't really.
I don't like.
You ain't gotta
McGee
jump high either. Like,
because he's the biggest disappointment for a center we've had.
Yeah. Oh, because he played for the Clippers.
No,
I'm just talking about in general.
Oh, is
there
he?
was.
Look at that! I knew he was.
No,
I knew he was a Laker fan at heart. He said we.
No.
Tiago Splitter.
No.
That was.
Wait, no.
Tiago Splitter wasn't bad.
Greg Oden.
That wasn't his fault.
That wasn't his fault.
Let's be for real. If he didn't have a baby knee, baby foot, baby left knee, baby right knee.
If he was just. He can stay on the court.
No. Greg Oden was a beast.
He was.
His knee was just bad.
Yeah. But whose fault is that?
That was a hit.
Okay.
He had some baby knees.
That's bro.
He was a solid 7 foot with baby knees.
He had baby knees and a grown man face. Greg.
That was an 80-year-old face.
Right?
That's like, man, I would have made the league if I wasn't 5'10". I was a beast.
No. He was 7 foot, but Greg. No, all right. Thiago Splitter, he could shoot, and he ran Pop's offense. That's all you need to do. So he was all right.
I like this argument that you got.
No.
Go ahead.
Bro.
I'm gonna start chopping sitters.
He was all right. Greg Oden was athletically gifted, and if him and baby knee Brandon Roy, because they both had baby knees.
Yeah, they did.
Right?
They did.
But think about it. They had Brandon Roy and Greg Oden, and Brandon Roy was vicious.
Yeah, he was
if he
nice.
would have held up.
He was nice.
That would have been a
That's
sick
true.
ass Portland. And LaMarcus Aldridge was supposed to be part of that tandem. Their big three.
Yeah.
And that big three. And shout out to what's that boy in Portland name? He's doing Damian Lillard.
Yeah.
He's doing it.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't have did what Brandon Roy, LaMarcus Aldridge, and Greg Oden would have did if they actually had their time. They never got their time to do their thing. And Kwame Brown, that nigga was big and goofy. I didn't expect him again.
Big and
No.
goofy.
All right, this is why I'm about to shit on JaVale McGee. All right, Kwame Brown was just a big old nigga. He wasn't supposed to be started. Jordan didn't know what he's doing. JaVale McGee is athletically gifted.
Very much so.
Has the jumps.
Very much so.
Has the wingspan and height.
It's ridiculous.
Parents were former athletes, so he had the training.
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, his mom. I don't know what college she went to, but she was big in her college years. This nigga can't put one foot in front of the other. I'm not talking about dribbling. I'm not even talking about boxing out. I'm talking about literally he can't put his left foot in front of his right foot.
Shaq in the full leg.
Right.
So that is why
He created that.
Yeah.
Oh man.
you need something special for that.
Can't
special.
argue that.
That's all I'm saying.
I'm trying to help my light skinned brother over there, JaVale McGee.
No, let him burn. Let him burn. That boy trash. He can't even grab a rebound. All right, if he has that much wingspan, wait. If he has that much wingspan, that much athleticism, and that much boosting, this nigga can't average 15 rebounds a game. He can't average 10 rebounds a game. He can't be averaging 4 blocks a game. He can't average 4 blocks. He can't average 2 blocks a game. How you 1.2?
That's true. That is true.
What? What are you doing out there?
I bet if he was on the Clippers, he'd be like, JaVale, JaVale, you gonna get it. You gonna get it. This is the year.
That was the piece we was missing.
Paul George is all gonna come together.
It's our year, baby.
Let's
Go. We fly high.
Let's get into the second game.
All right, yeah. Or
Either or would you rather?
Okay.
All right. Basically, I'll give you 2 different options,
saucy.
and you tell me who you would rather make a song with, and how you construct the song.
Oh.
All right.
Good. Hopefully, I know the artist.
I try to.
DJ.
There you go. Yeah, take a swig.
You're not on camera.
Grab a swig first.
Grab a swig. I'm
Swig
trying
that first. Oh, then never mind.
I said a swig, not a cup.
All right. So first, for would you rather either or would you rather?
Okay.
These are all songs featuring you, of course. So Donald Guy, featuring Kurt Franklin and Yolanda Adams, or Lecrae and Mary Mary.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Mary.
Oh, that's actually a. I would go, man. Mary, what Mary doing? I did see Yolanda at the Super Bowl. And Kurt Franklin does. I'm thinking from a business perspective.
Okay. A business mind already
that.
going.
And
I like that.
I'm different. My sound is different from Kurt Franklin and Yolanda Adams, and she sang. And so the fact that we're all different, I think that will be a dope combo. Me and Lecrae is going to be like, oh, his verse wasn't as good as Donald Guy's verse, or vice versa. Or that's Lecrae's verse, and Mary, where they at now? I maybe they're doing something. Maybe I just haven't seen them. But I know Yolanda and Kurt are still in the spotlight.
Yes.
So I am working with them two.
Okay.
We is getting that done.
And how you
Kurt,
constructing
if
that
you're
song?
out there,
Oh no, go ahead, shout out to Kurt real quick. Kurt,
Hey,
if you out there,
if you out there,
GP, are you with me?
yeah, let's do this. I mean, you trying to work with everybody else. And Yolanda, I heard you sing, girl. You can still blah. Man, wow, how would I construct that song?
Who's got the first verse? Who's on the hook?
You gotta have Kurt come in. You know,
Okay.
everybody out there today.
Was he a singer or a rapper?
I just thought he just spoke on tracks.
He just spoke on tracks.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
He was just.
It was the Diddy of religion.
Right, yeah. If everybody out there, GP, are you with me?
Oh,
Yeah,
Take that.
yeah.
Take that.
I would get I would definitely get a choir
Okay.
for this joint, and it would be like really epic.
Mm-hmm.
It would be almost like kind of like superhero intro, like you know. It wouldn't be like like your normal guy. Nah, we going epic on this. This gonna sound like
it's coming from the soul.
Yeah, it's coming from soul and like coming from just I don't know, just mysterious. Like we doing something with this choir. They just gonna be back there melodical, and then have Yolanda come in all smooth, and then then I hit them with the track. Yeah, I just Nah, I would really mix that and do something seriously out the box that's just has that epic kind of a feel. Drums live, live drums, live. It would just have this incredible. You think about sometimes when I make music, I think about not only the song itself, but how am I gonna perform this song? So I think beyond just me laying lyrics on a track. And so even just with the epic drums and something like that, I mean, we're talking if you're performing it live, the lighting is just going to be just going with it. It kind of reminds me of, Tyler, the Creator's performance at the Grammys. It was just epic. You need something like that that's going to perform well. And so it's just going to be just crazy just on stage. Yeah.
Okay, I like that. He painted the whole story for us, and I like that. Second,
paint the picture for them. So
he moves with
for
purpose.
Kurt.
His purpose.
That's what I want the choir to do. Ooh, right there. That's it.
Come on.
You're in the choir, baby.
Publishing splits, baby. I wrote that one.
Get them splits.
All right. Second for either or, would you rather? Donald Guy. Now, just, play along with me here.
Okay.
Donald Guy featuring Tyler Perry and French Montana, or Donald Guy featuring Oprah and Sierra. That's a left field one for you right there.
So this is how we do this.
Thinking business. I see the business wheels are churning right now.
We dropping this one in March for Women's Month. And we going Oprah
and Sierra?
And we going Sierra. And we got to drop it soon, because, that Sierra ties with Russell Wilson and that just finishing the season. Yeah. No, we dropping in October for breast cancer awareness.
Oh,
the season just gets started too.
Okay.
So you at least have
Oprah, take the titties out. No, I'm just joking.
You don't want to see those.
You don't want to see those?
I don't.
You never heard that? You never heard somebody ask for those?
And with that said, we're gonna go with French Montana. I would go that way. Okay. Okay. So I'm all about doing things differently, and having two, powerful women, young and older.
Sierra's really having a better career now without dropping music than she did when she dropped music. She's like more relevant now than ever.
I know, right?
Being a housewife worked for her.
Russell Wilson too keeps her in the spotlight.
Yeah,
female feminist.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Every time I see Russell Wilson, I'm like, that's supposed to be my hair. That's my hair supposed to be doing.
He still got that curly top baby hair. How do you do that?
Yeah, right? Took care of his shit. Tea tree oil. Tea tree oil, probably.
All right. Put him on.
Last for either or, would you rather?
Okay.
Again, play along with me. Donald Guy featuring Floyd Mayweather.
Okay.
And Wale.
Okay.
Or Donald Guy featuring Stephen A. Smith and JID.
I feel like that's the list.
Floyd Mayweather and Wale, or Stephen A. Smith and JID?
Yeah, those are two lit options. I don't know why.
Yeah. I might have to go Money Mayweather though.
Ooh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Money Mayweather and Wale.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He getting a verse?
Nah, they just put money behind the track. That's smart. Donald Guy's new song is brought to you by.
I feel that.
You gonna let Floyd read the lyrics, or you gonna just freestyle?
I'm gonna have to repeat it in his ear, and then he says it after because I don't want him to mess it.
Okay. Facts.
Yeah. Oh man, I'm gonna get myself in trouble if he's watching.
Floyd Mayweather, come on the show.
Come on the show.
Come on the show.
Come on the show.
And Wale, come on the show.
Come on the show.
And Oprah.
Oprah.
Keep
the
that.
show.
Nah.
Judge Judy, I'd rather have her on the show.
You know,
That's left field, though.
I would listen to Oprah. I need to understand. Why don't you support the new generation? But anyway.
So you're going Floyd and Wale.
Yeah.
And how you constructing that song? Who's got the first verse? Who's got the hook? And who's got the second verse?
I'm gonna go last.
Okay.
Wale lead it off.
Okay.
And put Floyd
On the
middle.
hook?
Yeah.
Okay.
Put Floyd on the hook. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Just two verses. Yeah. Me and Wale, and then Floyd on the hook.
All right.
That's it.
I like that. Call that song Money Team.
He ain't gonna be better than Roy Jones Jr. though.
Nah, Roy had some flame.
Can't be touched, can't be hurt.
Hey!
I ain't gonna lie. Roy Jones Jr. had some bangers.
He did. All right, thank you for participating in Either or Would You Rather.
Ooh.
You know, not a bad game. Pretty short, simple, and fun.
I like that.
Thank you.
So back to the album. Did you produce most of the tracks?
No, actually, I produced none of the tracks because I just don't have any time.
Okay.
But I work with some incredible producers. And the thing is that a lot of people, you know, when they get their beats, either they get it from someone they know or someone they don't know. And so I got my beats from people that I didn't know, but that didn't stop me from creating relationships with them. And a lot of the producers on the track, they're young, inspiring producers. And so they're only like one of the tracks that was produced. Well, I produced this. No, I'm sorry. I created this song. Came out with this song called "She Loves Me, She Loves Me Not," and in fact, it's the prequel to the song that I just dropped called "Plans." And so the producer, I actually met him online. 17-year-old cat from the UK. So his sound is just different. You know what I mean? He's living in a different culture, totally different, you know, style of music out there in Europe, and his sound is just totally different. And so I wanted to combine those two to make something that's just, you know, that's just perfectly made. And it's perfect because I start off the song with a Shakespearean monologue. And so over this, you know, this British dude's, you know, track. And so it was pretty dope. It was pretty dope. And the fact that he's black too, out in Great Britain. And he has that accent. That's just, you know, it's really crazy out there. I was more Australian than anything. But also work with an incredible local producer by the name of DJ Phantom. He produced Pressure and Solitude. That's my dude.
I like Solitude as well.
Ah, thank you, bro. Yes, yeah. So that was from DJ Phantom. DJ Phantom, 23. He's out there doing his thing. That's my personal DJ. He's the dude that I roll with, man. So shout out to DJ Phantom out there. I'm telling you, that dude he's gonna be a beast. Producing here in the IE, LA. The sky's the limit for him. And so I'm gonna keep working with him as long as I can afford him. So, because at some point he'll be like, "Nah, bro, I ain't working with you now."
Hey, at least you paid the ticket instead of trying to get the homie hookup. You know what I mean?
No, I got the homie hook up. But I take care of my G.
Yeah, right?
We collab. Right? You know, he hooks me up with the beat. No, he gets 50-50. And so even if he doesn't have his own publishing, when the check comes in for publishing, he's getting his 50. You know what I'm saying? So you take care of the people who are close to you. And so, yeah, for sure. So definitely, man, that's my boy. But back to what you're saying about astigmatism, the fact that I have astigmatism in my life, you know, things are things are, when you have astigmatism, you don't see things clearly. You have to have a corrective lens to be able to see it. And so it was so fitting that, when I put on the corrective lenses and you see life through a different perspective, you start to get a 20/20 vision. You start to see things more clearly. And so that's really where the album was based off of, astigmatism and the play off of 2020 is having a new vision for this music. And so
I like that. And also Seabags 2020. Because you can be clearly get into this money.
I like that. I'm trying to get that down. I said that terribly. You hear that? There was no like real type of pizzazz to it. He's got that.
That's funny.
I'm trying to get that down, man. I'm trying to get that down. Fucking, who is next door making noise right now?
I'm about to check that because I know, right?
Bro, I'm gonna start wearing my belt. I'm gonna have to just wear my belt.
Context for everyone, our listeners. We live in the Noise Lab. The Noise Lab is just a studio, but it also encompasses 2 other studios within it. There are other guests, and sometimes the studios go at it with noise. But it's all love here in the Noise Lab. Black noise.
I got it. I sent him a text. They good. They good.
He was about to go out there and check him.
Oh yeah,
he was like,
yeah,
I don't know.
He's got the attitude adjusted. He's got the attitude adjusted on it.
Yeah.
Speaking of you talking about publishing, it made me think, and I've heard somebody else talk about this recently. I can't remember who it was, but like podcasting is the next thing. Whereas it was
we need our publishing, right?
Right. Yeah.
Essentially, we're putting out an album.
Yeah.
Plus, every week.
How about we get on that now and revolutionize?
$50.
Yeah.
$50.
It's on Spotify. Now podcasts are distributed through Spotify. It's distributed through Apple Podcasts. They stream it. Sponsorship. It's out there. Now the one thing with publishing too is with the publishing and streams, there's not a lot of money, right? And so the key thing is to actually get on the airways through radio stations that have licensing for that publishing. And then because they're paying for those licensing, they're able to distribute more when you get them. And so even with the streams that I got, I hit up my dude and I was like, bro, I need to know like what, my manager, like how much did we make so far on this? And, where my check at, bro? And like, I trusted you with this. And he's like, I got you. You made 0.2% of a penny. Yeah. So if you need me to cut the check, I can cut the penny. And so there's not a lot through streams. And so the key thing is when you get your music out there, try to get it to different, playlists. Not just playlists on Spotify, but also just the different radio stations too, that have those licensing and able to actually hit the airways. So SoundScan can really pick up on it, and then through ASCAP you'll get your money So we had. I don't even know how. Like I was looking at some streams. I'm like, I don't even know how the songs are being played in Germany. Like how did they get that? And so it's crazy. But there's no limit, you know what I'm saying, to what could be done. And, I didn't think I'm thinking my locals, my peeps from Pomona, i.e. LA, they're going to get behind me. But you never know. You could be having people listening over in different countries. And that's where we have to take this music to another level, to be cosmic, to be more global in our perspective and figure out hey, I'm not just making music just for the homies, but, what about people? Like people are people. What about people in Germany that love hip hop and want to hear some good music? How do you reach those people too?
And that's really what streaming is for.
It's
exactly.
Just
a platform more so than a cash cow.
Yeah,
like you said. Yeah,
exactly.
I got a follow-up question for you real quick before we get into that last game.
Yeah, I was about to hit him.
You're a producer and you're somebody who seems very well versed in how to produce great content. This is a selfish question, but for our podcast, what would give me an idea of how you would take this podcast to the next level, or how you would get more attention if you were to start a podcast? How would you get more eyes on you?
Right. Okay. So with podcasts, I actually produce 2 podcasts for the university.
Okay.
And so one of them's called In Times Like These, which basically one of the Dr. Varney Hughes interviews people of different interfaith backgrounds and people that are totally different from her background and collab and connect with them. I got another podcast that I produce from Dr. David Carter, which is super dope, talented vice president of academic affairs, but is super dope host. Has a podcast called Singing in the Rain. Basically, in hard times when it's raining, how do you still smile? How do you still sing and bring joy? And so he's interviewing people who, in difficult times, still find a way to find that joy and still to be able to really, still make an impact on this world. And so when we started the Singing in the Rain podcast, one of the things is that how do you capture your audience attention? And having a studio is dope, and we have a studio at the university where we're actually filming. But how do you give someone a different perspective? So we started taking some of those interviews and start doing them in places where you just wouldn't expect an interview. And so, for example, we interviewed this guy from Watershed, Nick Garner, who's just created like this dope learning management system to be able to take classes online, but it's all media based. And so for his podcast, he's thinking outside the box. Let's think outside the box with his podcast. And so we actually did the podcast off of First Street, right in front of Claremont, as buses and things are going by, just to give it a different feel, a different look. And so if you say, well, I don't really care about technology in the classroom, this podcast isn't gonna interest me. But once you see, wait, is that a bus behind them? Okay, I'm gonna look in. And so you have to really make things less boring, but also get creative with things. And so with the podcast that I do, and one that I'm starting, we're just gonna. I don't want to give away the concept.
No, you don't have to do.
But somebody's gonna take it and run with it. No, but thinking like, hey, what makes things like comedians in cars getting coffee so dope is that they're riding around and classic cars, sometimes not classic cars, just a car just for the sake of a car, and interviewing people in a natural environment. It's going to catch your attention. And so I try to think, when I try to produce a show or try to think about, what's the next thing I'm creating, how can I make it different and something that no one else has seen? And so whether it's taking that interview on a train and saying, hey, you know what, we're going to set up some cameras. I'm going to pick you up at, San Bernardino. We're just going to ride the train station back to Pomona. And that's your podcast. You know what I'm saying? And so it's something different. So take that idea. We could collab on that.
Art publishing rights.
Yeah. But yeah. It's just doing something different. I love what you guys are doing with the games. That's so fun. I've never been on a podcast and they're asking, man, you dug into the way back machine in 2015. And so, but it's dope. It's dope. And so my thing is just always stay creative. Okay. Creativity is contagious. Yeah. And so find ways to just be creative and different from others and create your own lane where someone can say, ain't no other podcasts out there doing that, And
I
so
feel like we're there.
I do too. But we just got to go outside.
Our next podcast will be at a wedding. We're gonna bomb somebody's wedding and do a podcast there.
That would be super dope.
Actually, yeah.
No, for real.
Until we get kicked out, just sit there, just do our podcast.
Like we're here live
with the wedding in the backdrop.
Yeah,
that'd be amazing.
Spring's upon us. People get married around this time. Yeah.
Still think we're about to do that.
From March to August, we could have a buffet of weddings. As one should put it.
So our next guest is the groom, and so we're gonna play a game. I'm gonna go back. Shit. So who's Sandra? And do you still text her? Because it looks like back in 2016 you sent her a message.
All right. Well, thank you for answering that.
Sandra's the bride's sister. Oh, my bad. Nah, no problem.
Just wanted to pick your brain real quick.
Definitely.
Yeah. but talking about games and playing them. It's up for our third game, which we call School 'em. Well, I'm just going to ask you about 3 questions related to the hip-hop culture. If you get all 3 of them right,
I'm going to get all 3
you
of them
will
wrong.
be valedictorian.
Oh, man.
And this game is brought to you by
Cuzzo Clothing.
Because nobody's got your back like
Cuzzo.
Put your family first.
Put your family first. I got to remember that part.
And nobody got your back like I'm telling you, dog, like, we don't nail this shit.
We gonna nail it. The pistons are running, the engine's going.
That was good off the top of the head, though. They're not reading anything. They usually, yeah.
No, we've had a...
We getting it.
Yeah.
We getting it.
Try it. We're trying it.
We getting it.
All right.
Just a disclaimer, I'm really not good at tests, so...
It's all right.
So,
It's all right.
Boy, you went to college.
Boy, you went to college.
Well done. Are you ready to play?
School 'em.
Yeah.
All
I'm
right.
trying not to embarrass myself here. Let me see. All right, let's go.
All right.
C. It's C. That's the answer.
Capizio, Blotch, and Gada are all examples of what kind of hip-hop... Oh, shit.
What happened? You didn't write the question right?
What kind of shoe? Is it A, B, boy, B, hip-hop?
I'm going to go B, hip-hop. Did I get it right?
Did you get it right?
We're going to default that as to give you a point.
Yes.
Hey, 1 for 1 already. One
yeah.
for 1 already.
Fuck.
I didn't even have to hear what C was.
Yeah, you put that cup put that cup over here.
You're 1 for 1.
1 for 1. I like that. School 'em.
Question number 2. What does Rakim stand for? Is it A, vicious bars, B, to show mercy or kindness, C, a peaceful traveler, or D, to lead? And we're talking about the one and great, Rakim. Okay? The one who brought bars to hip-hop. I will always acknowledge him. Big Daddy Kane, you only brought the swag, nigga. You didn't have the bars. I say that shit. It's been Rakim.
And you're the first person to put big in front of your name.
Yeah, I give you that.
Give you that.
Congrats.
Swag.
That answer is B.
Is that your final answer?
What answer is B again?
Good one.
I'll reread them. A, vicious bars. B, to show mercy or kindness. C, a peaceful traveler. Or D, to lead.
I'm going to stick with B.
Ding,
ding, ding.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Two legendary
I'm all excited.
lyricists.
Let me act like I've been here before. It's B. I already knew that.
I already knew that.
All right, one more.
For valedictorian.
First
There
of
we
the
go.
year.
Let's do this.
Drake's first project was called A, Comeback Season. B, So Far Gone. C, Room for Improvement. Or D, Thank Me Later.
It's either C or D.
Which one?
Read it one more time.
A, Comeback Season. B, So Far Gone. C, Room for Improvement. Or D, Thank Me Later.
It's C.
Is that your final answer?
It's D.
Is that your final answer?
No, I'm going to go back with C.
Is
And that's my final answer.
Ding, ding, ding.
Let's get it. Let's go.
Wow.
Cam's not even rolling anymore. Let's go.
Hell yeah.
Before linking up with Cash Money and while still on Degrassi, Drake did drop Room for Improvement.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, when he dropped that, yeah. It wasn't until after he dropped Comeback Season and then So Far Gone.
Yes. Yes.
Which I think So Far Gone is the best one.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
Yes. So Far Gone, then if you're reading this is too late, then Thank Me Later.
Okay, yeah, that had bangers.
Yeah. I'll throw it out there like that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay.
Valedictorian.
Valedictorian,
Oh, wow.
yeah.
Man. Woo. I knew that 4.0 at Boise State wasn't gonna go to waste. Like, I've accomplished so much in my life. This means so
This
much
is the
more.
pinnacle right here.
This is it. I did it. This is credibility right here. That other thing just cost, a lot of money and just hanging on my wall. This is it.
This
is the true payment right here.
Whew. Boy, I hope I use pinnacle right. Anyways.
Man.
No, we're still charging you. That comes in the mail.
I knew I was gonna be in debt.
Well, thank you for playing
School,
Mr. Valedictorian, first one of 2020.
Nice. Thank you.
Hell yeah.
Hell
yeah.
Now every other show, it's like when the 1976 Dolphins went undefeated. Now I'm just gonna be rooting against everybody on the show. Like, oh, good, they got it right. I'm still the only one for the 2020.
You see that right there? Can you match those moves? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Don't hurt him.
That's exactly how he's doing it. This is how he feels he's doing it, right? But this is really it. Get him. Oh, got the shoulders going. What's that?
Oh, can I do it?
Do it.
Do it.
This is the part where we do this.
All right. Freestyle segment.
Oh.
And just like that,
We're back.
we are back with the Affiliated Minds freestyle segment.
Ooh, salsa.
And of course, we got Donald Guy in the Noise Lab on the podcast, ready to rip some shit.
He got the bars.
Whenever you're ready, man, let the people know what's up.
Yeah. Let me just talk to you. Yeah. I'm trying to be the realest. Every time I step on the mic, I gotta kill it. Yeah. So rest in peace to the beat. Every time I bring the heat, I try to do it for the streets. Try to do it for the weak or the meek. Trying to stay strong. Everything is on. But sometimes I do it all wrong. I'm just trying to prolong the living. Every time that I'm giving, every time that they're tripping, every time that I pivot, every time that I turn, try to front the burn, trying not to burn, but every time I try to learn. So where do I really go from here? I don't know, man. Anxiety and fear seems to always creep into my heart. Trying to figure out why we all apart, cause I know that I love you. I know that I want you. I know that you want me. I know that we show too. This is not no show tunes. We live in a movie. So do you wanna do you wanna really play it out? Do you know what love is all about? Does love come just from my life? Or really is it disappointing to Christ? I don't know. I just try to do it right. Try to read my Bible like every single night, but sometimes I slip up. I'm not perfect, but I know that I'm worth it. I heard it before so many times. My mama told me before so many rhymes, and I don't think that my mama would ever lie. But I try every night. When I cry out. I try to do my way out, trying to find a way out, figure out how this play out, because my life seems to be played out. I'm just trying to find my way in, maybe to the industry. Is it about ministry? What do? I don't know what's gotten into me. Maybe it's a sin in me. So now what do? Read my word every night and thinking about you. Now I feel like I'm torn into two places. Understand, I'm seeing so many faces. I feel like I'm wasted. But I ain't drink, I ain't smoke. You already know. Y'all already know. But I gotta find identity, plenty me. I gotta figure out who's my enemy. Maybe it's me, maybe the enemy. Are they feeling me? Sometimes when I'm feeling G, I'm like, do they really like? Am I really on the mic? Is this freestyle even tight? I'm just trying to do it. Live life right. I'm tired of looking foolish. So y'all need to cool it. Bring the heat when I do it. If you really want to know how I feel, I gotta get on this bar and stay really real. I struggle with anxiety. Sometimes I feel like maybe I should pop a pill to subside the deal. Gotta keep it real. I gotta keep it real. Yeah. I gotta keep it real. Cause life seems fake sometimes. but you are who you make sometimes.
Ooh, there we go.
That might have been one of the
Okay.
realest freestyles as
That
far
was
as like motion and
It was like a sound bath.
right. Hey, I like
was a
that.
lyrical
I like
bath.
that. Like a motherfucking sound bad. Thank you, man. Thank you, Donald
for
God,
sure,
for the
man.
freestyle,
Thank you.
man, and thank you for coming on the podcast. Great
Yeah.
energy.
Yeah.
Great energy, great conversation. This was dope.
This was.
This was
Oh,
dope. And
man.
capped it with a dope ass freestyle. I can't wait to hear that back.
Yeah,
3 or
gotta
4
play
times.
one time on the kickback.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
But
Appreciate
tell the
y'all,
people where
man.
they can find you at.
Go to my website, Donald Guy Music.
Mhm.
My handle is at Donald Guy Music.
Mm-hmm.
If you're looking for media, it's Donald Guy Media, or I do photography. So you can find me there. And you can always find me collaborating with my sister, Ilsa Mars. So shout out to her.
Shout out
As
to
you notice on the Stigmatism, I only had one feature,
And it was awesome.
The Realest. So I wanted to give a shout out to Illy.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Cool, man. Cool.
I know she cooking up something, so she gonna be back too.
Yeah.
At least I hope so. If not, I'll just kidnap her and make her back on.
Yeah.
But-
No, me
Foreigner,
too. No, me too.
Foreigners coming out.
I know, yeah, no me too, no me too.
No, me too.
Yeah, Foreigners coming out 2020. See, I'm not about just promoting me. Everybody got to
Mhm.
eat. But
Yes.
yeah, she's coming out with Foreigners
Mhm.
March 2020. And so,
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, scoop.
Yeah.
I don't know if I
No,
haven't
he's been
seen
working on it. I seen
Yeah,
it.
right.
Yeah, I'm mixing and mastering that joint.
Yeah,
But she
Okay.
killing it on that joint, working with some really dope artists too.
it. Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
so, yeah.
So when it goes on it, or they been working on something?
Is that good?
Oh,
Huh?
I don't know.
I
I'm gonna stay
ask you
silent
after.
because I don't know.
No, I ask you later.
Oh, some off-air question. That's what
Yeah,
that
it's all
was.
fair question.
Okay.
For sure.
Okay.
Man, I appreciate you guys, man. For real. This was dope.
Man, this was
It
fun.
was community.
This was
I
fun.
like
It was
it.
great
Love
meeting
it.
you.
Love
Great
it.
putting a face to the name. You know what I
Definitely.
mean? I heard the name several times, so it's great to put a face to the name.
Man,
For sure.
thank you guys, man.
And I'm just glad that man, we finally got a chance to kick it.
Yes.
All right, well, because we hung out too,
Mhm.
like a few times. Well,
Yeah.
I saw you at DBA, and then
Yes,
me,
yes.
Lily, and Amanda.
I know. I let y'all had y'all conversation,
Yeah.
but you were there. I remember that. That was fun.
Yeah.
That was fun.
So
And
super
so-
dope for Thank you for making the drive.
Thank
coming down.
thank you for the morning workouts, man.
Oh, hey.
That's a
Thank you.
third
That-
person in the
I
room that
know.
came on the podcast that said something about the morning
For
workouts.
sure, man. That's important. If y'all ain't caught those morning workouts, man.
You got
Yeah.
First thing you do,
Yeah.
work out. I just lift a little differently.
yeah. That's what's up.
But before we wrap up, hey, PJ, you've been putting in work. I know. Thank you always, but go ahead and hit him with your question.
Okay, so and personally in my life, I've been noticing like themes a lot, like in like whether it be like in a day or like a month or a certain period, and then like later on in life, like that theme rears its head again, reminding you back of like just what you learned and try to apply it.
Mhm.
What are some themes that have really hit you recently there, like if any, that if happens in your life that hits you like.
All right,
Oh.
wait. First of all, PJ, that was a good ass fucking question, nigga. That's what I'm talking about. All right, go ahead.
Say it with your chest, nigga.
It was so good. Repeat it again. I'm like, it was deep.
Okay, so I've been noticing in life there's themes,
Mhm.
whether it be daily, monthly, or yearly, or whatever around a period. What are some themes that have happened in your life recently that just like hit you a certain type of way?
Oh man, themes that have happened in my life. Let me think about this.
Or you notice, yeah. You notice.
That I've noticed. Man, that was a really
Right.
good question.
Hey, PJ, you get a fist bump.
Yeah.
Air fist bump.
Yeah. Man, I think because watch, I'm gonna think of something, I'm gonna say something, I'm gonna leave here, I'm like, man, nah, that's the theme. Honestly, the theme that I have, man, that's a really good question. Hold on, man. I gotta really think, because I don't want to just throw something out there too. Like, let me just think of the first thing that comes to mind. Like,
I
let
can
me
tell you mine. Mine's been fuck a job. That's been my theme.
Hey,
All of
that's my thing.
2019 and 2020.
Fuck a job, do our shit, but it's okay to chase your dreams and work a job.
Oh, no.
I'm saying.
Oh, not only okay,
You need it.
borderline necessary.
But
yeah.
But definitely, in there with a different mind state. I'm there to pick up a check. That's the theme.
yeah.
Pick up a check. Fuck a
Yeah.
job.
Man, not the theme, I guess the theme for me, someone asked me the other day, I was at church, and they were like, raise your hand if you love your job. And then I realized that, like, I was the only one that, like, raised my hand. Because I've had some jobs that I did not particularly love or like and just didn't want to be there and was literally there to just pick up a paycheck, you know? And I'm, like, really thinking about, like, okay, if I work, okay, I'm going to get this much in this hour. Like, I had to motivate myself hourly. Yeah. Man, so the theme for me, because I've you know, I work with a lot of different people. I work with when I'm teaching at school. You know, I hear a lot of stories about, you know, their goals and their aspirations, and so that's always come back to me as something that's like you really have to. And I've had this talk with friends of mine too, who are working and just don't love what they do. You really got to find something that you love. Man, and it stems from even a bigger theme of life. Life is the one thing that, you know, in 150 years from now, 200 years, 300 years, we're all going to be dead. You know, and so life.
Speak for yourself, nigga.
And what's crazy is that the people that are here on Earth in 200 years won't even care about what we did 200 years ago. They're gonna be so far beyond that because there's really hard pressed if I think 200 years before me whose names that I know, man, that's just like an elite group of people that made the history books, and so. We need to figure out how we can make history books in 200 years. Everything that you do it with a purpose. And so that's what I've been saying, because life is short, whether someone's saying, hey, my grandmother passed away, or, you know, me checking out a podcast about just living life worth, you know, a life that's worth living. And so that's important. You got to be thinking history every day. How can I create history? And how can I leave a mark, you know, and maybe it's not leaving a mark for them to know your name, but maybe you're a part of who was a part of, you know, Kobe Bryant's life, you know, kind of tying it all back together. Who was there in Kobe Bryant's life to help him catapult to be who he was. And so even if it's not me, it's what can I do for others to help them move forward and progress in life. And if they win, we win. And that's even with like my collaborations working with Ilsamar. Like, I really don't care if people know Donald Guy, but if I help someone to get to where they need to be, to reach a goal that they need to reach, and to know that I'm a part of that, whether people on the outside know it or not, I do. And the person who was, you know, that is experiencing that goal or the reward knows and are thankful for the people who helped them. And so, and that's what, you know, being there from day one and helping someone push along is so much more important than me trying to step over them to create my own lane. I would rather I would rather push someone into the end zone. Like in football, you see the lineman, they push the running back to I would rather be a part of that, because that goes so much further than just the reward of just getting to where you need to get to. Because if you get to that point, get to the top, or you get to your pinnacle, and you realize you look back and no one's there with you, then what was the point? Now you're back alone. And so that's been the theme for me. To overcome loneliness, community is so important. Collaborations are so important. And so then that means after this podcast, it's not just like, oh, yeah, I'll just see you on IG, but how do I establish a true relationship and friendship with the people that I meet every day? And so
all you gotta do is lend me $20, so we got a friendship. If you wanna know how, that's
pretty good. That's cheap.
Just joking.
Or bail me out. You know what I mean?
$20. Hold on.
PJ, thank you for the question, man.
Thank you for that hard question.
Heavy hitter right there.
I don't even know if I answered it right.
Heavy hitter.
The theme.
Joe pink socks. They used to be white. I know they used to be white.
No, these babies are pink.
Okay.
Oh, hit them with it. They used to be pinker. No, but thank you, PJ. And be sure to check out my man, PJ, over at Infinity Chakras on IG. He's somewhat back, not really, but he's somewhat there, not really. No, he said he's not there, but he still got works and projects in the area coming for you.
Hell yeah.
Earl,
Yeah.
anything sweet you want to say?
Man, just follow Black Noise, BlackNoiz.
Ooh.
Follow Blackout Podcast.
Oh.
And yeah, man, fuck a job. How about you?
I would like to second fuck a job. As well as be sure to check out everything Alt Black Podcast on IG, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Exclusively, you can see all the episodes in their entirety, 99.9% of the time. On YouTube, we have exclusive clips cut for you on Instagram as well as on IGTV. So we got a multitude of things for you. Be sure to hear us out on Soundcloud and Apple Podcasts.
Apple Podcasts,
Yeah.
Spotify, at
Yeah.
your mama's house, everywhere.
No, we're going to get Spotify this year. We're going to get Spotify. You Spotify motherfuckers, you can't download a different app. I swear to God. But we're going to get you on Spotify so you guys can listen. The complaints I hear. No, but
Facts.
but appreciate every listen.
Yes. And if you're listening, comment down below wherever you're listening at right now, and you can win something. Torta bread.
Oh, Jameson. No, torta bread. There you go.
You win something.
Comment.
And be on the lookout for the Alt Black clothing store featuring our merch coming soon.
Coming very soon.
New images almost on arrival. Excited to drop that to you.
That's a dope hoodie too.
And my boy PJ. Thank you. My boy PJ, he's going to be dropping that exclusive Alt Black playlist on a monthly term. Just let him give him some time to cook it up. We got a lot more in store for everybody. So thank everyone who ever listened, watched, support, like, shared, subscribe, and all of that.
Facts.
Without further ado,
Stay tuned, stay glued.
smoke a Dutch and read a book. Duh.
Boom.
Ease.
Subscribe to All Black because my revenge on my high school bullies really depends on it.
Subscribe to All Black because I want to finally be able to afford 2-ply toilet paper. I'm tired of shaking people with these shitty hands.
Subscribe to All Black because if you don't, you're a Trump supporter.
Subscribe to All Black because I want to take this podcast to the next level and be able to, like, sacrifice somebody in Hollywood. Like, I want to get that big.
Subscribe to All Black because I have a point to prove with a teacher who said I wouldn't amount to nothing. If you're out there right now, I'm fucking coming for you.
Subscribe to All Black because I'm tired of feeling bad about early onsets of dad bod. Like, I'm sexy, right?